Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. This week I'm telling you all about Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. This is the first book I'm reading of this author, but I saw so much hype about it on Instagram that it really made me excited to read it. As I previously said, I'm obsessed with football, and women's football is growing so much right now that it really makes me so happy for the future of the sport. Grace Anderson has been a star of the US women's national team for 10 years, even though she's only 26. But when she's sidelined with an injury, a bold new upstart, Phoebe Matthews, takes her spot. Phoebe is everything Grace isn't, a gregarious jokester who plays with the joy that Grace lost somewhere along the way. So the last thing Grace expects is to become friends with Bennett with this class clown she sees as her rival. Phoebe Matthews has always admired Grace's skill and was starstruck to be training alongside her idol, but she quickly finds herself looking at Grace as more than a mere teammate. After one daring kiss, she is hooked. Grace is everything she has been waiting to find. As the World Cup approaches and Grace works her way back from injury, the women decide to find a way they can play together instead of vying for the same position. Except when they are off the field, Grace is worried she's catching feelings while Phoebe thinks they are dating. As the tension between them grows, will both players realize they care more about their relationship than making the roster. Uh, this was such a cute and real story. I loved how Grace was such a grumpy captain and uh, Phoebe was a sunshine rookie. I was thinking the story was going to be a little more enemies to lovers, but it only lasted like one chapter. It has become pretty obvious that Phoebe's positivity and energy was going to influence Grace and manifest in her own life. I loved how we see their friendship develop in the beginning in spite of the sexual tension and chemistry these two characters feel, and then the whole friends with benefits that was totally going to lead these two to falling in love with each other and be each other's biggest supporters. It also led to some miscommunication, but I found it a bit funny that Phoebe thought Grace was her girlfriend while Grace wasn't seeing the clear signs of Phoebe's infatuation and love. I also felt like both characters, Phoebe and Grace, were very brave through the whole story, especially due to them realizing that they want what they wanted in life and not being afraid to ask for it. In Grace's case, it was a bit more extreme and related to her profession and how she wanted to be in a place where she loved the game again without the outside pressures. Also, a clear way to be more connected with her own family. I think in Phoebe's case, the way she actually realized that she had ADHD, which Grace basically shouted out in a not so subtle way, but she also needed help with it, and since she was so young, the path she wanted to follow as a professional player. Another aspect of it that made it very interesting to me was the meaning of being a queer athlete in sports nowadays. More and more, in an extremely slow way, we are seeing athletes get a bit more comfortable in sharing their identity and stories in multiple sports. We know that in men's football is still a ruthless and taboo theme, but in women's football, we know a lot about a little bit about out and proud athletes. I really liked how Meryl was able to bring this into the story. On one side, we have Grace being an out lesbian, Phoebe being an out lesbian, and on the other, Grace not quite out. This leads to some interesting points about what it means to be out and the importance of representation versus protecting parts of yourself from the public eye. It was a very interesting debate that even Grace goes through in the book. Finally, and I feel like I keep mentioning them in my reviews, but I love female friendships, and I loved the other members of both teams. It was such a positive energy, and I feel like it helped a lot on the main character plot, especially in Grace's case, to run through some things about with the people she had been friends with since she was so young. Honestly, I got curious to read Meryl's other books in the future. As always, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at ritasbookclub for more content. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Happy readings.